games to 8. So can the Maple Leafs even up the score? Mike Pike puts it on the boot. There's Galarruga. It's a little wobbly off the boot.
Great defence from the Japanese, swarming. There's a lot of pressure now on the Canadians.
Get on sides. No hands, 7.
So the Canadians regather their composure. That's the big boot of Mike Pike. And he's no small fullback bencher.
He's a big boy. This is a good strike. Oh, this is just a really good swarming defence from the Japanese. Sniffed an opportunity, isolated the defender, and then really getting aggressive at that breakdown. But yeah, Mike Pike, 196 centimetres, over 100 kilos.
Certainly carries some weight and momentum with him. And at the moment, though, the rain is what has the momentum in Bordeaux. It's starting to fall harder. Christian Lamanu. More at home on the wing here for the Japanese. He was caught out of position at fullback against the Welsh.
Hold there, last line now!
So Onishi plays halfback and Robbins puts it high. It's well taken by Pike. Stepped away from Endo and has some space. Mike Pike looks inside. Finds Riordan taking it now for Canada. Back to the left they go. And earn the penalty. Quite possibly another injury here on the cards for Japan.
Take the mark across here.
Well, there is still a Japanese note. They've got him back on his feet. It might have been Endo, but one of those players involved in the breakdown did cop a hit, but they seem to have patched him up, and they've found touch, Canada.
Hold him. Hold him until they walk in.
Yeah, he got crunched to Cherry Blossom, but he's bounced back to his feet. And Canada, well, they've had some opportunities in good territory once again. James brings it down in the line out.
See the Japanese there refusing to engage the maul, trying to get the truck and trailer, but they managed to pull in a few of the Japanese, and Kaplan said it was okay.
Smith back inside. DTH Pundamoa, I'll explain in a moment. James at the back. Hits and spins. Carpenter takes it on. Morgan Williams, once again they go to the left. Ryan Smith meeting a belter from the Japanese defence, but got his pass away. Now Fundamura once again. Williams. By James.
Run away, 7 out.
So the Canadian halfback caught up in that ruck. Now he has
he's okay.
assumed the reins at the back of the breakdown.
Oh, don't tell me he is.
2 come out.
Jonathan Kaplan, is this going to be a rucking penalty?
I think it is. You know,
Oh,
that's
Akiri crunch Smith.
Take him
a,
away.
was a good hit. Look,
Don't get involved.
Let's see what the referee says.
2 come out.
Then I'll make
That's a
comment.
second infringement.
You know what?
He tried.
How do you get players off the ball if you can't, you know, if the ref's not going to penalise the Japanese for not rolling away, then the Canadians need to take it, you know, into their own hands. And the only way to get a guy off is to make him feel the fact that you can't be lying around the ball. I just don't understand the logic.
Well, Pat Reardon, or Royden might have got him off the ball, but he's found himself off the field. He's in the bin for 10.
I'd like to see what the Canadians are going to do with their line-out. Reardon's been having a hard time with the best of times. They'll probably bring on their reserve and bring off one of the back rowers, I imagine.
Sebastian Barra loses that line-out. Colin Hughes stole it for the Canadians. But Thompson fights well at the breakdown and wrestles possession back for the Japanese. Yoshida flies in to feed his fly half, Robbins, and that is side of the slipper.
Well, the Japanese have 10 minutes now to really, you know, try to take this opportunity and turn it into points. The opportunity that Kaplan has given them. Yeah, again, look, I mean, the only time I get upset with rucky is if contact's made with the head.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be hard to know where you put your feet, I guess.
Oh, trust me, you got a pretty good idea.
No hands,
Well,
red!
I mean, when there's a player lying all over it, gets in the road sometimes. Anyway, the Canadians with an opportunity. Culpin juggled but did well and went back
No
infield.
hands!
Williams finds his big second row, Mike James. Can the Canadians steal a try with one man less on the field? Williams to Spicer. Looks back inside, but the pass knocked down from Robbins. Advantage Canada. They will receive the scrum feed.
Okay, when we start.
So back to Shaban Delmas in Bordeaux. Adam Kleberger receiving some attention. I spoke to the Fijian coach Ili Tambua during the week, and he advised me that all coaches were told at the start of the Rugby World Cup that the referees would be clamping down on the over-vigorous rucking. So they're applying it to the letter of the law. Sometimes a little bit ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
Well, then I guess coaches won't be surprised when they keep getting slow ball if guys are going to lie all over it and not get punished. That's my only...
Touch.
For a good game, you need quick ball.
It's a Kleberger. Williams tapped it on to Pritchard, but once again the execution not there.
Well, Teal threw the last line out, and they quite silly. They decided to go for the back of the line out option. They've now got a reserve hooker on the field because they had to for scrum time. So I think he'll now be probably throwing the line outs. That's Pletch. The problem is though, all of their reserves are also props.
Go. Line up. One don't shift. One don't shift.
So Yoshida does well to scoop that ball back to Christian Lomanu.
Lomanu did very well to kick it and get that outcome, because the ball from Yoshida wasn't a great one. It was up well above his head. Had to scoop it down and then kick it.
So 2 minutes to go until half-time. What can Canada do in that period to get themselves on the scoreboard? Spicer crashes it up midfield. Well, so many forwards standing out for Canada, they didn't quite have it in numbers at that breakdown, and once again the Japanese apply pressure.
And good work from the Japanese. You've got to win the ball first before you can play with it. Some of the Canadian forwards, they're assuming they've won the ruck when they hadn't.
So Ryan Smith once again crunched after he kicked it, and Mike Pike chases. Oh, it was neck and neck, a ding-dong battle, but the touch judge's flag beat them all.
Well, great little grubber kick here. Good vision. Obviously spotted the fact that Lomanu was very tight and shallow. Came down to Yoshida pretty much having to come across and cover. Good speed shown, but I think it was Big Mike Pike.
Certainly was.
Reminds me of Hoff, the old Brisbane Broncos winger.
Paul
Massively tall guy.
The big loping kangaroo.
Hold.
Yoshida once again charged down from Williams. That's happened more than once. And it's John Teal who takes it forward. Urgency being shown from the Canadians. 35 seconds from half-time, and they're close.
Or is it Yoshida really struggling with those box kicks? That could be down to two things. He's taking too long, and also his forwards aren't protecting him enough.
Burak
No hands now.
peels to the left.
Hold there, 7, last line.
This is when the Canadians seem to get a bit lost. They're not sure whether to keep on engaging the forwards. Look at the defensive line of the Japanese. They're all pretty settled.
Well, they do have an extra man at the moment, but Canada would dearly love to score one. Smith, Culpin back on the angle. The ball to Ryan Smith once again. Williams points to the left. The Japanese scramble. Spicer back to the right. Meters away, the Maple Leafs. The whistle for half-time will blow any second. Rod Snow picks and goes.
Last line, last line.
Williams points to the try line. The crowd get behind the Canadians. Here they go to the left, Mike Pike. Well, he took the hit heavily, but the defence was courageous from the little Japanese player.
It certainly was, and their defence, the Japanese defence all game has been fantastic. Really desperation stuff.
Well, I've been critical of the Japanese in previous games for their midfield defence, but that time Imamura was a rock wall, knocked it out of the hands of Mike Pike, and the score at half-time, Japan 5, Canada 0 at Bordeaux. We'll be back in a moment with Bill Woods for the half-time wrap.
Well, we told you it would be intense, Canada versus Japan, and it has been a grindingly intense game. Both coaches talked openly before the match about the homework they were doing each other, and they've done a very good job, so much so that there's been very little open play. End to end, not a lot happening. Endo, well, that was the only try of the first half, and it was an individual try in a sense. He beat a lot of players to the line, but there wasn't much passing involved, and Canada went very close in their only real opportunity right on the 40-minute mark, and that was one of their 8 handling errors. As a result, Japan finished with 5 handling errors for the half. And here's the try, boys.
This was the highlight of the first half. We saw him last week at Millennium, Kazuki Endo. Hasn't he got some good skills for a winger?
He certainly does, and it would not surprise me off the back of this World Cup that a fair bit of attention gets thrown his way, because look, wingers can look good when your team's doing good, but they tend to go fairly quiet when a team's struggling. Well, he has shone for the Japanese, even though the Japanese haven't been giving him great balls. So he's a real talent.
Well, the Japanese doing what the All Blacks have been trying to do, is trying to attack that mixed zone between 7 and 10. Endo ran over both of them, given that occasion. Momentum through a quick recycle, which they get now.
Down the blind they go. But
This is just showing really I guess some of the more lowlights, can you say, in the Canadians' play, and it probably summed up a lot of the first half in terms of turnovers. A couple of opportunities, but neither team really capitalising on them.
Well, a lot of the potential highlights for Canada have been deployed by strong Japanese defence door, and that's been a highlight for them.
That, and I think some of their option taking has been quite poor. Morgan Williams, the Canadian 9, has been very slow at the back of the ruck, and many opportunities where he could have swung it wide and had a crack. They've decided to do this instead. Just this continuous engagement, and then a drop ball there by big Mike Pike.
Imamura, that was a great tackle there, and as we have a look at the half-time stats.
Well, look, the Canadians dominating both possession and territory. They're behind on the scorecard, and they're a man down. So in general, they're probably most guilty of not taking, the best choices or the best chances of their opportunities.
Well, great defensive effort from Japan. If you look at the territory there and the number of tackles made, that says a lot about where Canada spent much of the half. But there were a lot of phases there that didn't really go very far, thanks to that Japanese defence. And it was McKiri that put that great hit on the Canadian fly half, one of a number of good ones we've seen. And more in store at the end of this break.
From high-profile scandal to murder.
He was in the news.
He was supposed to testify before Congress.
This suspect has a killer motive. So why does Detective Green...
No dressing room dressing down for Japan's coach John Kerr when he had them out in the Bordeaux rain and gave it to them. Just before we came out of this break, a gobful. Bryce Robbins now having a bit of to say. Can they go on with the job and break the drought? One of these teams will remain winless after this match. Who will it be?
Yeah, thanks, Woodsy. You saw the look of determination, what it means to John Kerwin before when he had the players in a huddle. They went into their own huddle then as the rain falls in Bordeaux.
40 minutes is a very long time. I'm not sure if getting the Japanese fired up at halftime is the right tactic, but you can understand they're so passionate to get this win. They're absolutely desperate for it, but it's whether they can keep going.
And well, this is John now. He knows they've got a real opportunity here with the Canadians down a player for another couple of minutes. to really capitalise on that, so it is important that they absolutely come out and go nuts for the first couple of minutes.
Japanese supporters of all shapes and sizes, all denominations, Kinjuri believe is what John Kirwan will be telling his troops. Jonathan Kaplan points to his touch judges. This match in the balance.